Hey there. Hey, I'm on my laptop checking things out here, and there's a place called Fort Pickens in Florida. It's a historic fortress that's on the Santa Rosa Islands, and it was built in 1834. It took 5 years to construct. It was named after Andrew Pickens, a Revolutionary hero. It's there, and I've never been to a Civil War era fort. Do you want to go? I do. So excited. So, broke up my gas app, and it tells me how much it's going to cost to drive from Florida, or actually from Las Vegas to Florida. Huh. $7,336.15. That's a lot of money. I could buy CNN for that. I think we'll have to fly. Babe, grab the face diapers. We're going on a plane. Our friends, Terry and Susan, took us along a narrow road along Santa Rosa Island. We passed the white sands and sand dunes. Pristine white beaches were absolutely gorgeous and stunning to the eye. Then we saw World War II bunkers, batteries actually, that were left over. As the island widened up, it really became quite pretty as we saw maritime forests start to pop up. And then finally our destination came into view. There it was, Fort Pickens, just waiting for us. One of the things I noticed is that the curtain wall is actually covered with dirt. It's called a glacis, which is a gentle earthen slope to help deflect cannonballs and make infantrymen run up it. On the other side of the glacis is called the ditch. Here, if you were to jump over the wall down the 20-foot drop, you'd be met with heavy musket fire coming from the other side. This is the mouth of the ditch with all the cannons ready to fire. In January of 1858, a fire broke out. Eventually the flames reached a spot where they stored the gunpowder, called a magazine. It blew up a large section of the building. Here we are outside the fortress, looking at the damage area. There would be the sally port directly in front of us. And then we come around, we see the other side of the ditch, away from the main gate. The first door on the left of the sally port led to where they housed a row of cannons. Their lookouts were still present, some of the cannons still there, and in good shape, and they restored them. I can only imagine how loud it would be in there, with a cannon going off in a curved ceiling in a closed area. The washed walls in the background were for officers' quarters. All the stuff was still there for display. Really impressive how they did it. This is all part of the officers' quarters. The paint's been peeling off the walls. I'm not sure if it was originally green or that's just kind of a moldy color, but nonetheless, we passed through it. Now we come in, there's my wife and our friends Terry and Susan. When we come in there, there's a musket shot right there, and that's the other side of the cannon. Really well done the way they put it back together and kept it restored. I couldn't imagine being on the other side of that wall, being shot at with cannons and muskets. But it seemed to work for that time era. Held up well. Fort Pickens had a lot for us to see, so we started to explore deeper. We started passing through thick, reinforced doorways, lots of tunnels. Here's where they had old cannonballs and other storage supplies. And then we walked down a hallway. They were told that was where they helped store gunpowder and stuff, but we weren't sure. We just continued exploring, following other people. I had to dub the recording over because all you could hear in the actual video was our feet walking on the sandy ground. The next room appeared to be a cannon room, but we weren't quite sure. Fortunately, they weren't offering guided tours at the time. But the room was enclosed and it had a very nice arched ceiling, which I really had to give hands to the masons who did this. Also, it had a weird opening on the top. I'd love to know what that was for, if it was just for let smoke out from the cannons or what, but it was pretty impressive. Here it is right here when I pan it up. Okay, if I pan it up. There we go, now I panned up. You can see it go straight out, almost like a little chimney, nothing below it. Please excuse the poor lighting, but we were told this is where they stored the gunpowder. which is pretty amazing. This is the main tunnel here, and then when we go downstairs a little further, the tunnels get really small. The height of the ceiling was about 5 feet tall. I actually had to turn my shoulders slightly sideways to be able to fit down them. We walked and traveled along quite a ways. I don't know how they would even rotate the gunpowder out to keep it from getting wet or keeping this stuff dry. I didn't understand it. But the hallway was dry. It was quite a ways underground. And we traveled as far as we could. Both tunnels ended up in a dead end. It was still pretty neat though. It's all part of the adventure, and we enjoyed it.
This should be artillery storage.
Covered walkway. Our things are clear.
Here we entered another large room, and on the ground you can see half tracks going around the windows. Those are where the cannons used to be able to pivot and stuff on steel wheels. We look out the window here in a second. You can see that we're actually facing the ditch and the outer gate on the way on the end of the ditch here. On the left would be the glacis, and on the right is a border wall. The room is pretty impressive as always, and I just couldn't imagine how loud those cannons would be going off inside a closed room. It must have been absolutely deafening. It was really impressive when we got to the end of the cave, or the end of the tunnel, sorry. When we got down there, you could see somebody dug through the wall. And it's only then you realize how thick these walls are. They were massive. Look at this hole here. I don't know what they were doing, what they were looking for. Wow, that's thick. Yeah.
This is a dry ditch.
Here we are on the other side of the wall. Leave the tower. We got a big old cannon. We entered in through the short doorway into the other side of the fortress. It was basically a mirror image of the other side, which the cannon rows right here that were facing the ditch. The track's still on the ground and the archwork perfectly done in brick. Here we see the slots to hold the cannonballs and other supplies to keep the cannons going both along the hallway. Terry and I ventured down another dark and lonely hallway to find out what was down there. It looks like it was another spot to hold gunpowder and other supplies. We started to go to the rest of the fortress, which turned out to be just like the other side. Interesting, but the same. The noticeable difference was the green on the walls and everything. That was largely from water dripping down from the wet sand above. There was also salt stalactites hanging from the ceilings. Here you can see part of a wall that has been removed. Over the decades that passed, they had to get larger cannons in there, and eventually generators to make electricity for them. Everything they could to make her comfortable, I guess. Here's the last cannon room that we found. That was totally enclosed. This one faces out, towards the main gate, towards the ocean. I guess you could fire on coming ships or enemies or something. Still very impressive, the brickwork though. Really enjoyed this. Here Terry and I discovered a little doorway leading into darkness. The ladies decided to stay outside as we went into venture. I have no idea what the room was for, but it was cool. I dig the creepiness of it. This tunnel here was used to move troops from one side of the fort to the other in a quick manner and to keep them underground and free from fire. However, sometime later they decided to put a generator in there. It was no longer there, but I can only imagine all the fumes of a generator running inside a closed area. But that's what they used it for.
This is where they stored grain.
Oh, okay.
So everybody left again. And it wasn't even Bobby hadn't made it in yet.
This is where they stored rainwater here for. Still got some water in it, it ain't raining all the way.
There's actually water in here.
See? It was a big huge snake. Yeah. Yeah.
Wait a minute, you're from Las Vegas. You guys got snakes.
I don't have snakes where I'm walking.
Oh, let's go check this out. Double cannons. Salt on the walls. Oh, this opens up. Oh, this. Whoa, Terry, we got some exploring to do here.
This is crazy.
Which way? Which way? That way?
Yeah, let's go.
There's one of those things. Yeah, one of those pivots. Yeah. Wow. Oh wow, there's one there in good shape, huh?
Yeah.
This is almost like a Roman type building and everything. Have you ever been to Roman? Yeah, you've been to Rome ruins.
That is neat.
Yeah.
Yeah, Susan, we didn't come here. I don't remember seeing this place.
These must have been smaller cannons. See the wheel
Yeah.
turns right here.
Definitely not enough. I mean, there's. It still looks like it would be able to pivot like 55 degrees there. The smaller cannon, obviously.
Yeah.
Thursday night, they fought us. That she was
Oh. I mean. All right, it's not the main hallway again.
This is crazy.
I wonder how many people they have here.
Might be a good check.
I know they researched the history.
Yeah, one of those buildings, the one of the long buildings out there is place for. I'm using this.
Did you run up the hill?
did too. We were here.
Yeah, no, we weren't actually.
Yeah.
Cannon weighs 50,000 pounds.
And
Over there's a World War II bunker. Get my fingers out of the way. Here's where we were over there. around.
5 foot.
No doubt. This is the part that blew up in an accident. Just don't look at my camera.
I went to the amphitheater and watched the play. You know, at the property center. And they're like, did you meet anybody? Yeah, I met people. What do they tell you? I hope you enjoy the play. Have you seen the Athens Museum yet? No, I haven't.
The other wall we were on there. We're on that tower bunker right there. And now it makes sense why you can just run up that hill, but you're gonna get picked off right here.
You're gonna get picked off. And look, here's the mortar right here.
Uh-huh.
Boom.
Oh, they had cannons right here.
Cannon right here, or at least some kind of really heavy weapon.
By the time 1898 started to roll around, they came to the conclusion that Fort Pickens, although beautiful and strong, was actually obsolete. Cannonballs were going to the wayside, and new rifle-round artillery could penetrate its brick walls. To counter this, they built a fort within a fort. Using thick concrete would reinforce everything. This new fort was painted black to help stop the glare. It had two 12-inch cannons that fired rifle rounds. Both weapons were on carriages, and once they fired, they could be lowered back down, thus disappearing behind the concrete wall. The barrel mark on the ceiling is where a steel girder used to run down there, because each round weighed 1,070 pounds. The beams were used to hoist the shells up so they could move them easily. The projectiles could hit a ship that was up to 8 miles away. Totally new technology that worked well. This is the remains of one of the hoists to bring the rounds up to the top. It was pretty impressive looking, all rusted out. It had two chains that kind of looked like bicycle chains, but they were the size of your ankle. They were huge, but there wasn't much left of it on this side. It had more on the other side. Up top, we can view the protective wall that would keep the guns housed and away from danger. And it looked like a brief auditorium was actually where the guns used to sit long ago, but are now gone. This is the other side of the room with the steel girder still in place. I followed it all the way to the back to the machine that used to lift them. Fortunately, there wasn't any lights back there, so it was quite dark. I tried to get the best shot as I could, but my cell phone only does so much in the darkness. Sorry about that, and next time I'll have to bring a flashlight. The windy day was trying to give me a frohawk, as you can see, but I panned the camera around one more time. Just look at the massive courtyard. There's an amazing structure. I want to enjoy to see some piece of history here in America. Take care. God bless. I hope you enjoyed the video. As always, please like and share this video, or even subscribe. It means a lot. Thank you very much. Take care.